welcome. I'm Visible Lady of Faith, and this
her
is
sidekick, her husband.
And today we're going to talk about Jeremiah's call and arrest, taken from Jeremiah, the first chapter, verses 6 through 10, for Sunday, October the 5th, 2025.
Well, it was actually more than that. It's also in Jeremiah, the 26th, 8th through the 9th, and also 12 to 15.
Yeah, Jeremiah was a prophet, okay, and Jeremiah, in this lesson, the scripture shared with us that Jeremiah shared a message with all the people, the priests and the prophets. And one of the main things that I want to mention about what Jeremiah told the people was to reform their ways. Okay, and so reform means to change, to make change or improve our ways and how we do something, and not purposely or intentionally say or do something evil, hurtful, or lie.
God is speaking to Jeremiah the prophet, and it's an interesting thing that he said. He said, "I'm too young." That's interesting. And God told him, "Don't tell them he's too young." He gave him instructions, "Don't say that." And these are little subtle things that we should be learning ourselves personally. How does that apply today? Because I'm always told my children, this is in their interviews, when they interview, they ask this question, what are your weaknesses? And I found by answering that when I was younger, and I stopped answering that and tried to give a very positive, answer to that question. As the answers that as I got more mature, I says, well, the biggest problem that I have is they said I work too much, and I need to learn how to balance that. And I told them that was my weakness. I noticed that when I did my annual performance appraisal, they would always say whatever I said in my weakness in that interview, they would put it on my performance appraisal. And they said, well, you said this. And instead of the manager doing their job, finding actually what things I should be strengthening. In this case of Jeremiah, when God told Jeremiah not to say that you were too young, because people that were in the turmoil of the Israelites, or the things they were doing and what God did not like doing, they said, "Oh, you too young. What do you know?" And they would discredit, him because of his age. So, in other words, we should not be giving people our flaws and stuff like that. We should just deliver what the truth is and let them decide what they're going to do with that truth.
Okay, so this is what you started talking about, what we can learn from this lesson that we can apply to our everyday lives, and not mentioning your flaws because it can be used against you.
Yeah, so,
in your performance appraisal.
Yeah, I felt that God didn't want him talking about that, but he just wanted to deliver his message to the people, because the focus should be on the crimes or the sins of the Israelites at that time. They should be focused on that, not deflecting and say, "Oh, you're too young to be telling us what to do."
And also he wanted to make sure the task was to reform the people, or encourage them to reform, to do what's right, that they would not, they have a task and they would do the task, right? So what we can learn from this lesson is that we can apply to our everyday lives is don't compare ourselves to others.
Well, there's also too in here that as you go further into the scripture, toward the end, Jeremiah was to deliver the message that God was just not happy with what was going on, and God's going to destroy if they don't get in line, because there was a warning, and people now, how's that look today? Yes, our country's in turmoil. I don't want to get into anything that sounds like I'm throwing mud at this leadership of this country. But I don't have to throw mud at it. It's creating its own. So I'm pretty sure everybody has their opinion about what's going on. And the thing is, my point I want to make of bringing up to this country, regardless of whatever in the world's going on, we have to be very careful about the words that come out of our mouths. We don't want to get in a crossfire with some of these particular leaders, and it's not productive. It's not really productive at all. So the point is, I can control what's here in my life and do what I need to do with my wife, my children, and the community that I live in. Battle. It's a battle against good and evil.
Okay, so Jeremiah had this task to do to encourage the people to reform their ways.
Yep.
So some other things that we can learn from that story is, like you mentioned about him saying he was too young, so we can say we're never too old or too young to do a task.
No.
And when we do a task, we don't need to make excuses. We just need to try to do the task at hand.
That word you use, excuse. That's
Yeah.
the biggest. Everybody's looking for some
Yeah.
excuse to do the wrong thing, and should be finding excuses to do the right thing.
And also, with this task, even if we are afraid, like I like what my daughter always said, even if you are afraid, do it scared, but get it done. Have faith, have confidence. And another thing, don't expect immediate results, but just consistently try to do the right thing and to plant seeds.
It's like all these stories in the Bible. I think about the virgins, the ones that had, they went and they were waiting outside to go into the wedding, and then and those that bought extra, oil for their lamps, and those that did not, and they waited so long, and they kind of like, ooh, we ran out. Can we borrow some from you? And that's basically what's going on. Everybody's thinking of excuses. They want a shortcut. They don't want to really prepare and what have you. We need to process what we're getting from the news and from the world and everything, and we should pay attention. And that's why, being married to this lovely wife of mine for on almost 50 years.
Woo, that's a long time.
And I'm glad I stayed with her because I've learned a lot.
Me too. I've learned a lot.
And the reason why I say that, we need to be more consistent about taking care of our own personal business. And we should stay connected with the politics and everything. We should vote. We should get involved. I'm not saying being an activist. That's not where my heart is. And like the Jasmine Crockett's and everything, just want to let her know you're not alone. We're praying for you. And if God says get off my couch and go and help you do something, I'm going to be there, because my leader is God. It's not what's in that leadership in that White House. It's going to be taken care of. It's going to be torn down and rebuilt. And right now, things probably need to be torn down right now. God has his hand on it. He's still here. But we're not, I want to say this clear. I'm going to slow down. We're not under the Mosaic law right now. And if you understand it, the way the scriptures is laid it out, God is still, a lot of things are still in play. But when I say we're not under the Mosaic law, we keep behaving. We want to take the laws of the land to govern the people. It will not work. The religious leaders, the pastors, they are failing the community. We need to stay focused in any of our little secrets. The secrets, if you got something so bad in your life and you're hiding it, trying to keep that money or whatever, you need to stop it. Because in order for me to be able to say what I'm saying with the conviction and the authority, I cannot be doing it myself. Okay? I can't tell you to stay with your wives and I'm not working on it myself. I can't tell you to stop lying and I'm lying myself. And I cannot tell you to stop stealing and I'm a thief myself.